Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're uncovering the hidden value of Lincoln Wheat pennies, coins that might look ordinary but can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. From rare dates to striking errors, some of these pennies are true treasures hiding in plain sight. If you think a 1-cent coin can't be valuable, think again. Let's find out which wheat pennies are turning heads in the collector world. First up, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat penny coin stands as a distinct example of mid-20th century American coinage. This coin was minted in San Francisco as indicated by the S Mint designation and is part of the long-running Lincoln Wheat cent series. That began in 1909. This particular coin has a condition noted as having a red shade along with some rust, suggesting that it has aged over time but still maintains notable characteristics that make it interesting to collectors and historians. Coins from the early 1950s not only offer a glimpse into the history of American numismatics, but also reflect the broader social, economic, and technological transitions occurring in the country at the time. The obverse of the coin features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This portrait has remained a staple on the penny for over a century, symbolizing the nation's admiration for Lincoln's leadership and moral vision. Above Lincoln's image is the national motto, "In God We Trust," while to the left appears the word liberty, and to the right, the date of the coin, 1951, followed by the S Mint mark signifying it was struck in San Francisco. Over years of circulation and exposure, this particular coin has taken on a red hue in its coloration, a feature typically associated with copper-based coins that have developed a natural patina from oxidation or environmental interaction. The red tone may indicate some of the original mint luster remains, although this is often offset when a coin has also been affected by rust. The reverse side of the coin carries the wheat ears design, officially known as the wheat reverse. It includes two stylized stalks of wheat on the left and right edges that frame the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above those phrases appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, reflecting the unity of the nation formed from many states and peoples. The wheat design is simplistic but elegant and is appreciated by collectors for its nostalgic value and balanced composition. For the 1951 issue, these features were struck onto bronze plankets composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, resulting in a coin that initially had a bright reddish color but often darkens or oxidizes over time. The presence of rust on the coin suggests that it has been exposed to moisture or environmental elements at some point during its life. Copper-based coins like the Lincoln cent are susceptible to corrosion when stored improperly or subjected to humidity for extended periods. Rust, while more commonly associated with iron-based materials, may appear on copper coins as a greenish or reddish corrosion product, sometimes called verdigris. This may appear as small spots or patches and can affect the overall visual quality and collector desirability. However, many collectors still value such coins for their historical and numismatic significance, especially if key details remain intact. From a historical perspective, 1951 was a year of international tension and domestic growth for the United States. The Korean War was ongoing, and the early stages of the Cold War were setting the tone for American politics and global involvement. Domestically, the post-World War II economic boom was in full swing. American families were purchasing homes, cars, and consumer goods at unprecedented rates. During this time, a penny still held enough value to purchase small items or make up significant portions of simple transactions. The coin in question would have been commonly used in everyday commerce, passed from person to person in grocery stores, gas stations, diners, and shops, each time fulfilling a small but essential role in the economy. The San Francisco Mint produced over 90 million Lincoln Wheat pennies in 1951, making it a relatively common issue. Nevertheless, each coin has a unique history. Some may have been carefully preserved by collectors, while others, like this one, went through years of active use before being stored away. The red coloration and slight rusting on this coin suggest a life that included both exposure to open air and storage conditions that did not fully prevent oxidation. This is not uncommon for coins that remained in circulation for a decade or more before being removed or forgotten in old drawers or coin jars. In the realm of coin collecting, condition plays a major role in a coin's market value and appeal. Grading systems typically evaluate coins on criteria like surface preservation, luster, strike quality, and color. While this coin may not reach high grades due to the presence of rust and signs of age, its color and mint origin still offer appeal. Many collectors actively seek to complete full Lincoln wheat penny sets that include coins from all mints and all years between 1909 and 1958. The 1951S is a required piece in such a collection. It is accessible to collectors at various experience levels due to its moderate availability and generally affordable pricing in circulated grades. Beyond financial value, the coin offers educational opportunities. In classrooms or historical settings, it can be used to illustrate aspects of American history, economics, metallurgy, and design. Teachers may use coins like the 1951S penny to show students how American values and political ideals are expressed. Through coin inscriptions and imagery in workshops or hobby groups, studying the effects of age and environment on coins can introduce important lessons about chemistry, storage methods, and the importance of preservation. Next up we have the 1941S Lincoln Wheat penny coin represents a piece of American numismatic history that has survived the passage of time through decades of use and environmental exposure. Struck at the San Francisco Mint during a critical period in world history, this coin belongs to the beloved Lincoln Cent series that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1941S issue was produced at a time when the United States was emerging from the Great Depression and was on the verge of entering World War II. Coins from this era, even in worn and damaged condition, can offer insights into the period's economic and cultural environment. The example in question is described as having a bad rusted condition, which suggests prolonged exposure to moisture, oxidation, and overall deterioration from extended circulation and less than ideal storage conditions. On the obverse side, the 1941S Lincoln penny features the right-facing portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. The design has endured for over a century, becoming one of the most iconic images in American coinage. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto "In God We Trust." To the left side of the portrait is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1941 with the S mint mark just beneath it, indicating it was struck in San Francisco. While the details of the portrait may now be softened or obscured due to rust and corrosion, the presence of these identifying marks still allows collectors and historians to recognize the coin's origin and date with certainty. The reverse of the coin carries the wheat ears design, which was standard on Lincoln cents from 1909 until 1958. This design includes the stylized sheaves of wheat on either side framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above the denomination is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. On well-preserved examples, these details are sharply struck and clearly legible, but in this particular case, corrosion and surface damage may have affected legibility. Rust can create pitting, discoloration, and surface flaking, which reduces the aesthetic quality of the coin and its value in most traditional grading systems. However, for some collectors or researchers, even damaged coins can hold educational and historical importance. The coin's material composition consists of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This bronze alloy was standard for pennies until wartime metal demands caused the mint to produce steel cents in 1943. The copper content of the 1941S penny is significant because copper is reactive to environmental conditions. When exposed to air, humidity, and acidic contaminants, copper can oxidize, creating discoloration and corrosion. This natural aging process often results in green or black patches, surface roughness, and a generally poor appearance, especially if the coin was not stored in a controlled environment. Rust, though not typically a term used with copper coins, often refers colloquially to any surface corrosion or deterioration, including the effects of verdigris or dark oxidation on older pennies. Despite the coin's physical flaws, it serves as a relic of a time when pennies were regularly used in everyday transactions. In 1941, a penny could buy small goods such as candy, newspapers, or postage. These coins passed through countless hands, stores, and transactions, becoming a daily part of American life. The San Francisco Mint produced over 92 million of these coins, meaning they were quite common in circulation. However, each individual piece has its own journey. A rusted coin like this may have been dropped on wet ground, stored in a damp basement, or simply neglected for many years, allowing nature to take its toll on the metal. From a historical standpoint, the year 1941 was pivotal for the United States. While the nation had not yet entered World War II in early 1941, by December of that year, the attack on Pearl Harbor would propel the country into global conflict. The coins minted that year, including this 1941 S-penny, became part of a war era economy and reflect a moment just before profound change. Many Americans at the time were still recovering from the Great Depression and bracing for what lay ahead. Coins like this penny were carried by soldiers, workers, children, and families navigating uncertain times. In the context of coin collecting, condition is a crucial factor in determining value, but it is not the only measure of a coin's significance. While this 1941 S-penny may not be prized by collectors who focus exclusively on mint condition examples, it can still be appreciated by those who value history, completeness, and storytelling. Completing a set of Lincoln Wheat pennies from every year and mint location often involves acquiring coins in a range of conditions. Next up we have the 1948 Lincoln Wheat penny coin without a mint mark represents a piece of American numismatic history that emerged during the post-World War II era, a period marked by significant transformation and rebuilding across the nation. Produced by the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not include a mint mark on its coins at the time, this penny carries with it not just its copper composition, but also the echoes of a society returning to normalcy and prosperity after years of global conflict. The Wheat penny design, which first appeared in 1909, was created by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the centennial of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first time in United States coinage history that a real person's likeness was placed on a regular issue coin. By 1948, this iconic design had become familiar in every American's pocket and was a staple of commerce throughout the country. This particular 1948 coin, described as having a red shade and some rust, tells a story not just of its year of minting, but also of its long journey through circulation. The red coloration in pennies is typically due to the high copper content, as they were primarily composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. When these coins are well preserved, they maintain a reddish or reddish-orange hue, often sought after by collectors. However, when a coin has spent decades in circulation, as this one clearly has, it may also develop signs of aging, such as rust or oxidation, especially if it has been exposed to moisture or environmental conditions that accelerated its deterioration. Rust is more commonly associated with iron, but when used to describe a penny, it often refers to dark brown or rough patches that mar the surface due to corrosion or contamination. Despite the signs of wear and the presence of rust, a coin like this remains valuable in historical terms. It provides a physical link to the everyday life of Americans living in the late 1940s. During this time, President Harry S. Truman was leading the country through a complex landscape of domestic policy shifts and emerging Cold War tensions. The Lincoln Wheat penny served not only as legal tender, but also as a subtle reminder of the values and leadership represented by Abraham Lincoln during another pivotal time in the nation's past. People who used this coin in 1948 might have been buying a loaf of bread for less than 10 cents, riding streetcars, or dropping it into a vending machine for a cold soda. Each coin holds those stories silently within its worn edges and faded features. The wheat ears on the reverse side of the coin, flanking the inscriptions, were intended to symbolize agricultural strength and the backbone of the American economy. The design was practical and patriotic, conveying a sense of tradition and national pride. On the obverse side, Lincoln's bust remains a symbol of unity and the enduring values of freedom and perseverance. Over the years, millions of these coins were produced, yet each one has taken a unique path. This specific coin, now showing the effects of age and environmental exposure, may have been part of countless transactions, carried in wallets and pockets, dropped and retrieved from floors, and handed from one generation to another. The condition described, featuring a red shade with some rust, suggests that while the coin is not in pristine or mint state condition, it still retains much of its copper vibrancy. The red tone could indicate that parts of the surface are relatively well preserved, despite the intrusion of corrosion in certain areas. Collectors may refer to such pieces as having character because they reflect not just the minting process, but also the passage of time and use. This contrast between the well-preserved coppery glow and the darker rusted patches speaks to the complexity of evaluating circulated coins. A numismatist would likely examine such a piece with a sense of curiosity, considering both its physical state and the broader historical context in which it was created and used. From a collector's standpoint, a 1948 Lincoln wheat penny in this condition may not command high monetary value, especially if there are no rare minting errors or unique features. However, its worth goes beyond currency. It offers educational value for those studying mid-century coinage, serves as an accessible piece for beginner collectors, and continues to hold sentimental value for individuals who remember these coins from childhood or family stories. As such, it plays an ongoing role in preserving and honoring the tangible history of American life, especially for those who appreciate the significance of even the most humble artifacts. Next up we have the 1950 to Lincoln wheat penny coin, minted in Denver, stands as a testament to mid-20th century American coinage and everyday economic life. Issued during the post-World War II era, this coin played a vital role in routine transactions, from purchasing a loaf of bread to filling a parking meter. Its design and use represent not just a monetary unit, but also a moment in time when the United States was navigating through economic growth, societal shifts, and a rapidly changing global landscape. As part of the beloved Lincoln wheat penny series, the 1950 to coin carries both historical value and cultural relevance, offering insight into the aesthetic choices and minting practices of the period. The Lincoln wheat penny series, first introduced in 1909, was designed by Victor David Brenner in commemoration of the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was the first time a U.S. coin featured a real person, and Lincoln was chosen for his enduring legacy as a unifying figure and a symbol of American values. The obverse of the coin features a right-facing portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse displays two stalks of wheat encircling the inscriptions, a tribute to America's agricultural strength and the nation's labor force. The simplicity and elegance of the design made it a favorite among the public and collectors alike. In 1952, the design remained unchanged, underscoring the enduring respect for its symbolism and historical importance. This particular coin, bearing the D-Mint mark, was produced at the Denver Mint, which was one of the key facilities involved in mass-producing coins for circulation across the western United States. The 1950 to Lincoln penny was struck in large numbers, reflecting the demands of a booming post-war economy. At the time, the coin was composed primarily of copper, with a standard alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gave the coin its distinctive reddish tone when new, although years of circulation often left such coins darkened, worn, or spotted due to exposure to the elements and frequent handling. The condition of this coin is described as circulated, which is common for coins of this age. A circulated coin typically exhibits noticeable signs of wear, including smoothing of design details, loss of luster, and potential surface blemishes. These characteristics speak to the coin's long journey through the hands of countless individuals and its use in everyday commerce. The Lincoln bust may appear softened, with finer details such as hairlines or coat folds partially worn down. Similarly, the wheat stalks on the reverse may show signs of flattening. Nonetheless, even in a circulated state, the coin retains its historical and numismatic interest. What makes circulated coins like the 1950 to Lincoln penny particularly fascinating is the silent story they tell. Every nick, scratch, and worn edge adds character and depth, offering a physical narrative of how money moved through the fabric of American life. This coin may have passed through the cash register of a small-town diner, been saved in a child's piggy bank, or traveled in the pockets of workers and travelers from coast to coast. Its journey spans generations, echoing the voices and lives of those who handled it in cities, towns, and rural communities alike. From a collector's perspective, circulated 1950 to Lincoln pennies are relatively common due to their high mintage and widespread distribution. However, they still hold value for those interested in assembling complete year sets or studying variations in minting. While not typically considered rare or highly valuable in financial terms, these coins offer an accessible entry point for new collectors and provide a tangible connection to American history for more experienced numismatists. Some may look for potential varieties or errors, such as double dies or misaligned strikes, though these are less frequently found in this particular year. Beyond its physical attributes and historical background, the 1950 to Lincoln wheat penny also serves as a reminder of the changing nature of currency and economic behavior. Next up we have the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny coin without a mint mark is a distinctive example of mid-20th century American coinage and holds significance both historically and numismatically. As part of the final production year of the beloved wheat reverse design, this coin marks the end of an era that began in 1909 with the introduction of the Lincoln cent. The wheat penny design was originally created to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, and over nearly 5 decades, it remained a steady presence in American currency. The 1958 issue, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, does not bear a mint mark, which was standard for coins produced at this location during that time. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gives the coin its distinctive reddish appearance when preserved in good condition. The coin in question is described as having a red shade, which suggests it has retained much of its original color and luster. In numismatic grading, the red designation is a favorable condition indicator, typically applied to coins that show minimal oxidation or toning. For a coin over 6 decades old, maintaining a red shade implies it has been either well preserved or only lightly circulated. The coin's color contributes to its visual appeal and can enhance its desirability among collectors. On the obverse side of the coin is the well-known profile of President Abraham Lincoln. His portrait has been a constant feature, the 1-cent coin since 1909, making it the longest-running coin design in United States history. The words "In God We Trust" appear along the top rim, with Liberty to the left of Lincoln and the date 1958 to the right. The lack of a mint mark beneath the date indicates that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the original U.S. mint and remains one of the primary coin production facilities. The reverse of the coin features two stylized stalks of wheat curving inward from each edge, surrounding the phrases 1 cent and United States of America. Above these central inscriptions are the words E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning out of many one. This reverse design, known as the wheat ears design, was replaced the following year in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, introduced to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Therefore, The 1958 wheat penny represents the conclusion of a historic design that had become iconic in American numismatics. The 1958 wheat penny was struck in large quantities, with over 250 million coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint alone. This high mintage means the coin is not considered rare in the broader sense, especially in circulated condition. However, uncirculated examples and those with rich red tones, like the one described, continue to attract interest from collectors. While its monetary value may not be high unless in exceptional condition, its historical and aesthetic value remains solid. This coin's red shade adds an element of charm that can be appreciated by collectors and history enthusiasts alike. The red color on copper coins results from their original surface remaining mostly intact without exposure to air or contaminants that cause darkening. Coins stored in protective environments, such as coin flips, albums, or sealed holders, are more likely to retain this color. The color not only reflects condition, but also offers a glimpse into how coins age and the factors that contribute to their preservation or deterioration. Examining the condition of this coin further, even though the red shade is present, there may still be minor imperfections typical for coins that have been handled or exposed to varying environments. These can include faint scratches, tiny spots of toning, or minimal loss of luster in certain areas. Nevertheless, the coin's ability to retain its red appearance across decades speaks well of its overall condition and care. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny also carries sentimental value for many Americans. For those who grew up in the mid-20th century, this coin was part of daily life. It could be found in lunch money, change from local shops, or slipped into birthday cards. Even today, it can occasionally turn up in circulation, surprising finders. With a piece of living history, the coin serves as a tangible reminder of a different economic era when a penny could still purchase a piece of candy or contribute to a savings goal. From a numismatic perspective, this coin represents a transition. The following year brought a major change in reverse design, shifting from the agricultural symbolism of wheat to a modern representation of the Lincoln Memorial. This change reflected not only a shift in artistic direction, but also a broader evolution in American culture and design philosophy. Collectors often seek to complete their Lincoln cent collections with examples from each year and mint, and the 1958 issue, as the final year of the wheat design, holds a place of particular importance.